Welcome and thanks for joining us. Today we're diving into a story that reads like a high-stakes thriller, a look at a geopolitical chessboard where the pieces are moving in some very unexpected ways.
We're digging into a narrative presented by and it paints a pretty dramatic picture of the conflict in the Middle East. It's all about intelligence, secret weapons, and a major power play that could change everything. So, the story starts with the familiar, tense standoff between the United States and Iran. But then the source claims a new player just stepped out from the shadows, revealing its hand and completely upending the game.
And here's the bombshell claim. China is allegedly no longer just watching from the sidelines. The narrative is that they've become an active participant, feeding Iran critical information that could fundamentally alter the strategic map of the entire region.
So, how is this all going down? Well, according to the source, it all kicks off with a massive intelligence leak, one that supposedly puts American military positions right out in the open.
And what's really wild here is the incredible level of detail the source claims China has shared. I mean, we're not talking about vague hints. The claim is that they've handed over everything: flight numbers for specific cargo planes, the exact coordinates for advanced missile defense systems, troop counts, and even the locations of key air bases and refueling tankers.
The source doesn't mince words about the supposed purpose of all this. The language is incredibly blunt. The allegation isn't just that China shared some interesting data. It's that they provided a literal hit list, essentially painting a giant bullseye on American assets in the region. And this isn't just about old satellite photos. No, the source makes a very clear distinction. The claim is that this is a continuous, live feed of intelligence. We're talking about tracking planes as they take off, following ships as they move, giving Iran a massive heads up on any potential military action. So, if you're Iran and you've just been handed this incredible tactical advantage, what's your next move? Well, according to this narrative, you prepare to unleash a devastating counterpunch, a secret weapon that's been hiding in plain sight, or rather, hiding under the waves. Now, we're not talking about submarines, which can be tracked. The picture being painted here is of something else entirely: fortified, secret facilities built on the seabed, designed for one thing and one thing only: launching a surprise missile attack. And the firepower here is supposedly massive. We're talking about long-range cruise missiles that can hit targets up to 1,500 kilometers away. According to the source, these hidden tunnels are positioned perfectly to threaten one of the most critical economic choke points on the planet.
And that brings us to the endgame. The ultimate goal of this alleged intel sharing and secret weapon building is apparently to give Iran the power to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, a vital artery for the entire global economy.
The plan, as the source lays it out, is brutally simple. Step 1, launch missiles from those hidden underwater tunnels. Step 2, target absolutely everything moving through the strait: oil tankers, cargo ships, you name it. And the result? A complete and total shutdown. 30%. Let that sink in for a second. Nearly a third of all the oil that travels by sea every single day has to pass through that one narrow waterway. So you can see right away, this isn't just a regional problem. A shutdown here would be a global catastrophe. And to put that number into perspective, just look at this chart. The Strait of Hormuz handles significantly more oil traffic than the Suez Canal and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait combined. Closing it would be like blocking a major highway during rush hour. The gridlock would be immediate and massive. So what's the economic fallout? While the source doesn't pull any punches, it warns that oil prices could literally double overnight. Can you imagine the shockwaves? It could trigger a worldwide economic crisis almost instantly. Okay, so after laying out the alleged military and economic threats, the narrative zooms out. It starts to describe the diplomatic consequences of this new reality, suggesting a fundamental reordering of power across the Middle East. The source basically presents a before and after picture. The before is the old dynamic. The US is the main power broker. The after, well, that's where China and Russia are actively helping Iran, and traditional American allies are suddenly getting very nervous and starting to hedge their bets. And according to this narrative, that nervousness has led to a flurry of diplomatic activity. The source claims all these key nations are urgently reaching out to Iran, not to issue threats, but to call for de-escalation, a mad scramble to avoid getting caught in the middle of a major conflict. So, when you piece it all together, the story being told here is pretty clear. It's a narrative of a superpower being strategically outmaneuvered.
The claim is that the balance of power that has defined the Middle East for decades isn't just shifting, it's being openly challenged.
And that's the picture painted by this particular source. It's a dramatic one, for sure, and it leaves us with a really critical question about how conflicts are fought today. Are we actually seeing a real change on the ground, or is the real battlefield now the one fought with information and perception?